Hi guys, it's Aegis here. So today I'm going to actually talk about the top 5 cards that I rely on the most in year 2021. So I've seen a lot of content creators already share their thoughts on their like top 5 pick, and since I also did it like last year, so I'm going to do it this year as well. Maybe we can just keep it once a year on whatever we feel we rely on the most, we use the most, we feel most comfortable with. Basically, the top 5 cards that I have played and actually enjoyed. Now, starting with our fifth is actually the Flagbird. So, Flagbird is released in that year, so of course, it's a new right line for Stoichia. So far, it's still the newest since we don't have anything specifically newer. But this card actually helps me a lot of times. It's like when I am when I feel like I want to have a very fast game, I go with Blackbird because I basically on my first ride or my second great return, I'm going to finish games. Some decks actually play a little bit longer, but this is not for a long game. At least when I'm building the deck, that's what I feel. So, having an option to actually go Flagbird and a lot of things are a lot easier after you play a few games with it. It really helps you without thinking too much once you get into the sequence, and you can just throw all the balls to your opponents and say, okay, I'm doing this, what you think? I'm doing this, what you think? I'm going to do whatever attacks, what you think? Just give them all the thinking time they need and just push them harder, make them burn with them with the brain. And I also did a deck profile on premium with this deck with Mega Colony. So if you haven't checked it out, make sure you check that as well. So Flagbird not only having an Alpha Force like, but being able to fit into Mega Colony, which is basically my main clan, definitely something that I rely on last year. And then next, still with Solver, which is my top 4. Is also in Overdress era in the standard. Now, Solgar is another deck that when I really don't want to think what I want to use, because this is basically my most comfortable deck, but at the same time is hurting my brain so much. Not in the gameplay, but actually in the deck building process, because you can see me using like a lot of orders and then switch when we have the doggy, we switch into like very less order, and I just finished playtesting some stuff as well, which those will be show you guys. And a little spoiler is I actually increased my orders again. So every time when Solgar has some sort of support, you if you really want to focus on those new support, you almost need to throw your whole deck away and like look at the list again and build it again sometimes. At least for me, that's the fun part of playing soccer, because so many combinations that you can play with this deck, so it's so hard to get boring unless you really find like your winning formula 100%, but I don't think there is actually one. But in other decks, they are sometimes a little bit straightforward. It's like, for example, Nirvana, you just put in whatever overdress units, and you normally won't have a lot of changes. With Bastion, you just throw in like Eldons, and then like the game drive Great Freeze, and just do that. And then with Bruce, you just play your like Denar, Derek, Griffey Order, then that's it. But for Solgar, even if you use the same set of order, the amount that you use changes how you actually put your non-order units. Like, if you don't play a lot of orders, do you play some cards that can pick up orders, or play some cards that can drop whatever order you want from the deck so that you can play them on time? Or when you have a lot of orders, are you going to use cards to mill your deck? Are you going to use cards with a higher shield value because you have a lot of orders that cannot protect you, so you're increasing your shield value? So just the number of orders already can make the deck so much fun to build. And so far with so many builds that I always have fun the most with Solar. Even when Flatbird is out, it's like I can have a fast game with this, but now we can also have a fast game with Soccer, so that still getting a higher level that I think I rely on the most, because whenever I actually take my decks out, unless I'm playtesting new stuff, I always have a Soccer with me, because Soccer is something that I feel most comfortable. I can win games with Soccer. I sometimes lose games, but I can win a lot of games with Soccer, no matter what I face. Unless maybe like the prison maybe giving me a little bit hard time, but still, I think Soccer is still my most comfortable, most like relying the most deck in Overdress. And then going to top 3, which is Hill Guardians. And you can see it's a Mega Colony one because of course, I'm like a Mega Colony main, so I'm going to show you the Mega Colony one. Hill Guardians actually changes a lot of things, especially when I play Protect clans, when I play Force clans, because I don't play a lot of Excel clans. I only probably just play Tachi and Narukami and maybe 1 or 2 more, but not a lot. And I always face force decks that can have high power with crit in premium, or even in just like 3 premium. When you face Regalia, it's just a pain. If you can't even protect yourself before you get the Grave Freeze, there's a lot of things that you cannot do. But having Hill Guardians at least allows you to have some ways of survival. Plus 10k minus crit, whatever that is, or even damage denial, you can still have a way to go over it. That's really helpful. And with decks that relies on Grave Freeze so much, even Mega Colony, like worse than the worst, when you run out of Grave Freeze, you can at least still use Gridora's skill to pull this out to do some attacks. So like having a heal, being a Grave Tree, and being able to block early, being able to let you survive, you definitely requires at least 2 copies or 1, usually 2 to 4. So I can't say I do not rely on this card. I might not rely as hard in premium, which I have a lot more options when we have G cards, but talking about early games, again, without the G guards, this is definitely your best pick. And then next is Giraffa. So Giraffa, I think a lot of people might think Ghidorah is still like the best deck or anything, or sometimes they like Venom Stinger, they like Gunning Colio, but Giraffa actually changes how I play Mega Colony. Actually, like with Gunning Colio, I'm like playing a stall game because I do a lot of dry checks, I do some guard restrictions, I gain power, I search myself Great Freeze, I search myself some defensive cards. Ghidorah, I do control again, even though it's faster, but I'm still looking at a chance that I might go to deck out with Ghidorah. But with Giraffa, you actually go a lot faster because you kill your opponent's 2 cards in hand, keep them rested, block their effects, and even though if you go first you can't gain a crit, but you still gain the power. But being like, because Hill Guardian is a thing, making your guarding a lot easier, this can even just hurt them even more because you plus 10, I can just put the triggers to something as I'm still hitting you and you lose 2 cards already, and I just keep pushing you every single turn. if you don't have a lot of resources to draw your cards, you will run out. And I can do it in early phase. So that is really helpful. I use this deck to play against a lot of different decks. Of course, playing Force, I'm still having a little bit hard time, but at least I feel a lot more comfortable when compared to I play with Force decks, because I don't get to cycle my cards too fast. I don't get to control my opponents that fast, because I do big punches or whatever, but they can control their own pace. But this, I ruin their own pace. So that is already something that I am happy to see. Giraffa getting back to the game, having SP, not only retiring to regards that is not a mega coin like thing, but now you do hand control, you do the paralyze. It's so mega coin. So he will definitely still be a key to my deck build, and of course we do have Master Beetle coming back, so I'm totally ready for Master Beetle. And of course you will see me doing a deck profile, and he'll definitely be one of my top 5 in 2022, so you can at least know one spot already that it will be Master Beetle. And lastly, it's still a very old card, but the Grade 4 Fedora. Now, because I'm a Mega Colony main, when I play Premium, I always take a Mega Colony build out, and it's kind of like Castile. I do want to put Castile on the top 5, that the Grade 4 Castile, but he is banned, so I rather put something that is still available right now. Else, I would definitely put Castile in there, because Castile just allows me to basically turn every single overdress deck into premium. Because I first, when I only have the starter cards, I put, for example, I put Bruce in there with Castile because I copy the skill. So and I go to Final Rush before I stride. So everything is so smooth. You just need to use a little bit cards, then you can just make a overdress convert premium deck. And so far, I think Castile is the easiest one to do. Because we do have the Chain Ranker Dragon from Shadow Paladin, and also the Royal Paladin Dragon that can copy skill. But if you copy Bastion, you do need to actually have something that is beneficial. Because, for example, with Shadow Paladin, you need to have 3 Grade 1s to have the Guided Strikes, but your Bastion deck is mainly Grade 3s, so that's not happening. So Castile allows you to copy the skill, making things a lot easier. And Fedora is a little bit different, but it also allows us to get the attack number of attacks we want to, and having some control in overdress converting into premium. Like in my Flashbird build, I aim to go for Soa and then go for a Q turn with 2 fatal attacks. But before we actually get to that point, Fedora is here to help you to do multiple attacks, blocking G guards, stunning all your opponent's units, make sure they have a hard time, they give you a lot of resources back, and then you can feel free to go for your Flagbreak Soa Q turn. And when I play with Giraffa, I can just go into Fedora while still playing my Giraffa cards. When I'm playing the V era or the G era Fedora, I can always go back to Fedora, Grade 4. So whenever I play a Mega Colony Premium deck, she's just a 4-off, and she's just that good. And then what we need to have is just all the cards that can always be Mega Colony, and then Fedora will help you to do the middle job to do the group stun, do the control while you're still trying to do your other things. Even her can work with like Magnolia, the grade 3 one, because you just copy the name, and then like the Fox or like Kinosla can all use the skills. Then well, Kinosla cannot use while you're on grade 4 because you need to allow Kinosla to attack from the back, but Foxy can give you Kinosla to attack from the back row because your Vanguard is still having the grade 3 Magnolia name even when you stride. So while you can copy the name, you also do the stun, you do the multiple attacks. This allows you to also do multiple attacks. Then you can like work out the maps yourself. So still my top one. Probably will still be my top one unless we see something that is 100% new grades or just a lot better than Fedora in the premium collection, which I'm still looking forward to because we have new G guards, we have new G units. So hopefully it's not like last time we only get something to help your opponents to flip G zone face up. It's a strategy, but while we have 16, like 15, 16 cards in our G zone, then that is not helping that much. It's a fun card to play, but if you are talking about like a more competitive scene, then maybe not that helpful. Yeah. So that's basically my top 5. It's basically all the green nations. I don't put red ones. I do have the Overlord and such, but I don't actually rely on Overlord that much. Blade Master is only like when I'm getting too annoyed, then I will just play that deck with stands, but of course now we cannot do that anymore. So talk about being annoying, Mega Colony is definitely the best. This is also kind of annoying. This is less annoying, but at least you feel comfortable with. For myself, that's the case. Yeah, so again, that's my top 5. Feel free to comment down below your top 5. We can discuss from there. You can tell me your reasons why, and yeah, we can just talk from there. And it's like almost 2 weeks in for 2020, and I just hope everyone have a wonderful year because we are just starting, and there's a lot more to come. I still have a lot of things to put out, and there will be a lot of new sets coming out. Like there will be a Shaman King set 2 for sure. We have our premium collection, and then the V Clan collection is basically in 2 to 3 weeks time. 2 weeks time probably around. Then we have new decks. My Master Beetle is coming here. I'm definitely going to give him some love. And yeah, there's just a lot of things, and hopefully I can get my English cards a lot faster. Then maybe I can also start joining tournaments like the BRO. Yeah, or maybe if there's physical events and when things are settled that we can start traveling and stuff, then I can just like maybe even just fly to Singapore and play some games. Who knows? Or even just fly back to Japan to enjoy the Vanguard Fest. There's a lot of things happening for Vanguard, and I hope you all will continue to enjoy Vanguard. And like myself, I will keep playing the game, enjoying it, and just expect something interesting to come. Hopefully we can get some good news. Like keep getting a lot of good news on things getting better. Tournaments can just keep going. Everyone can play face to face safely and just enjoy the year. Yeah. So thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you guys in the next video. Signing off.